Welcome to As Above.
So below.
I am Kisha Lee, the Psychic Yogi.
And I am Cidnee Rich, and this is Astro Reiki Sagittarius season. So welcome to, yes, this fiery, mutable energy of Sag. After we just got out of this super heavy, deep, emotionally just, energy of Scorpio season. I am thankful and grateful for the levity and the optimism and the energy of Sagittarius season. I think it's really cool that we get to kind of go from this really deep space to this more like, okay, active, energetic energy that Sag has. It's like, it gives us like a clean slate kind of vibe. It's like, okay, we got to our feels, we got really deep. Now let's go on an adventure, which is exactly Sag energy, right? It's an adventurer. Where are we going next? It's the archer. So it's like we can set our sights on the future, and we can set our sights on what we learned and what we transmuted, and really start to see that in action, because Sag is the alchemist. It is the temperance card in tarot. So it is definitely about things coming together in divine timing. And so there's no wonder that it comes in divine timing right after Scorpio season, when we've dredged up all this emotional stuff. And now we have the fire to alchemize it into who we are becoming and like where we're going with that knowledge, right? Since it's also the truth seeker, and it's allowing us to really start to expand. And I think it's cool too that it comes at the end of our calendar year and towards the end of the astrological seasons, because it's like, okay, we've learned all this stuff, but with all that knowledge, how are we integrating it? How are we alchemizing it to move forward in a more expanded way, in a more like leveled up way, an ascension, right? It's a very highbrow type of energy. It's very knowledgeable. It's very intellectual. And so it's really starting to see the pieces of things coming together so that we can alchemize that into our new being, our new self, our new goals, our new vision for ourselves, for the future. So I like Sag energy on paper. Sometimes my little Virgo-ness doesn't do well with the expansion of that, right? Sometimes when things grow quickly, I can feel a little like, hold on, let me get a plan. But Sag kind of just wants you to go with that intuitive spark of energy and that masculine energy, right? It's very assertive and it just gets it done. It makes it happen. It's that fire. And so fire is necessary though, because sometimes like I mentioned, you can be too analytical, you can overthink, and you might not do, and then you have yourself in a space where you're kind of in the same space you were the last time, right? Or the last year. So I'm embracing it. I always embrace it because I think it's important for us all to kind of like bring those energies in. It's ruled by the planet Jupiter, so it's that optimistic energy. So I'm choosing to look at everything half full and choosing to look at this season as a time for excitement, even if it's still hard for me personally to know exactly where that centaur's arrow is going. I know it's going somewhere where I'm going to have more growth in who I am as a person, in my vision, in my self. And as it rules the ninth house in astrology, it really speaks to travel, but not just traveling literally, but traveling timelines, if you want to think about it that way too, right? We're allowed to say, you know what, I'm on this timeline now, and this is a trajectory that I'm in, and it's going to bring me this, and this. Whereas, because I learned from Scorpio season that like these things weren't, they weren't for me or weren't in alignment. So I like that idea of it being the ninth house ruler, that we have this ability to travel, not only literally, maybe we'll travel more, it's holiday season, but also like energetically and metaphysically, and we can timeline jump. So I think Sag season would be cool to kind of like, because it's also that higher education and that spirituality is ruled by the ninth house. So really kind of like dive into like Astro travel and timeline jumping and all of those past life regressions, those things that kind of allow us to really move our essence forward in a way that maybe we can't do physically right now, but we can like start to move our soul into another space and time. So yeah, the key phrase I wrote down here, I expand through exploring. So let Sagittarius season give you that sense of adventure, to expand who you are, what you know, whether that's just like learning something new, reading a book, an audiobook, just trying a new like hobby or task or something. I think it'd be fun to kind of shake it up, get a little flexible, shake off that heaviness of Scorpio season and get into this idea of being just having some fun, you know, because Lord knows I need a little fun. So I'm going to pull for us real quick. Real quick, like fire. Okay, what does the collective need to know for this awesome, exciting, fiery, energetic, expansive, intelligent, thought-provoking season that we have? Okay, cool. Interesting pull for sure. I have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. And like I was just saying, how Virgo energy for me and Sagittarius is kind of like creates tension, friction. So I think this is interesting that this came out, because I think from what I see also with the Page of Wands, which is definitely Sag energy, fire energy, it's saying like sometimes it's not about sitting and finding the answer, but it's about doing and finding the answer and being and exploring and experiencing. Like the Page of Wands is an adventurer. This is literally the adventure card. And so with the Hermit here, it's like sometimes we got to get out of the stillness and into more action to find that enlightenment, to find that like understanding of self. It's through action, it's through connecting, it's through being more explorative. And sometimes that Hermit can feel very static and like we have to be very like meditative. But I feel for Sagittarius season, it's really us stepping into that Page of Wands energy and allowing ourselves to be an explorer and actually get moving through our self-discovery, through our soul searching. It's more of an active thing. And then we have the Nine of Cups. And that's cool because this is about our wishes and what makes us feel happy and what will make us feel content. And so I do think the season will bring some of that to us through movement, through exploration, and looking at soul searching as a more active thing than a more passive with that Jupiter and masculine energy that Sag has. So love it.
I like that pull. That's actually pretty cool. Everything you explained is like, I am one step ahead. Go figure, since I have a Sagittarius moon and Mars. So hey, one thing also I want to say before I get into the collective reading is the thing I notice about Sagittarius energy, because my mom is one and my father is one, is that it's also about generosity. You know, the expansion is about generosity. It's kind of like all encompassing in a way. So right now we have this awakening of the collective as we elevate into higher dimensions of consciousness, of reality, of wisdom, of knowing, of doing and being. And so I think that part of that Jupiter energy of Sagittarius is about like expanding the collective consciousness and elevating us as a whole through the knowledge, through the wisdom, and through the stuff that we're seeing, you know, on social media and the news and stuff like that. I think also with that being said, it's kind of interesting with where was I going with this? So with the Hermit, the Page of Wands, and the Nine of Cups, my intuitive breakdown of that is like the Hermit is like introspective, but now it's like what I got was something that a friend of mine told me one time was that it's not knowledge that's power, which that's kind of the hermit, right? The introspective, gaining all this knowledge, but it kind of keeps it like into itself, right? The hermit. But it's one of those things where it's not knowledge that's power, it's applied knowledge that is power. And that is where you gain wisdom through experience, applying that knowledge. And that helps you with like the embodiment of that. So I think that's kind of cool that the Page of Wands came up, because it's like, okay, I've got the knowledge from all this introspection, going deep within, and so forth. And now it's time to like give myself a fresh start, like actually apply this knowledge, and so that I can move towards my wishes being fulfilled and emotional fulfillment, which actually, in Goddess Guidance the other night, that was something we talked about, is our receptivity and being fulfilled on multiple levels. So I think this energy of Sagittarius is very cool. I'm a little biased though. And so let's see, the collective message, it came to me like a while ago while you were talking, but the word that I see emphasized is freedom, like freedom. Free thinker, independent thinker, freedom of speech, human rights, like freedom on multiple levels, freedom like spiritually. What does that look like for you to have more exploration in the realm of spirituality? So that could look like astral travel, astral projecting, lucid dreaming, even timeline jumping, past life regression, like you said. It could also be projecting our intentions into the future and what that looks like, so that we can embody that energy in the here and now. Freedom of mind, what does that look like? That just be, being able to express yourself more clearly, being able to own your thoughts and say, this is just what I think, this is how I feel, and being like, I want to say, more sovereign in that space, but really taking agency in your life and saying, nope, this is what I think, and being kind of like, clear shooting with that, being very direct with that, like the archer that Sagittarius is. If you know any Sagittarians, they are straight to the point, okay? They do not beat around the bush. And also allowing yourself mentally to go into other realms, like learn something new. Sagittarius is very much about higher learning, education, wisdom, knowledge, that kind of thing. So to me, it's also an opportunity where if things are coming to you that help you to clarify or to gain more guidance, gain more certainty and focus in the direction you're going, then explore that. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself permission to step outside the box and outside the comfort zone. Take up space. Allow yourself to feel and, dream like larger than life. Emotionally, what I get when it comes down to the energy of Sagittarius season for the collective is a sense of freedom. I think we are yearning for freedom. There are different cultures, different societal, archetypes and what do you call it, status and so forth, that are screaming and crying for freedom. We are literally calling for, Sudan and Ethiopia and Congo and Palestine to all just like for freedom, freedom of human rights, freedom of human life, and knowing that all lives matter. Obviously Black lives matter, but all lives do matter. And so it's one of those things where it's kind of like, with during this season of not the holy days, but the season of Sagittarius, it's like, how can you allow yourself to be more emotionally free? How can you detach from societal norms, cultural norms, gender norms, any other kind of biases, familial norms, maybe ancestral, generational. I don't know if I said that already, but how can you detach from that and redefine through the wisdom that you've gained, through the knowledge that you've gained? How can you redefine what that looks like for yourself? In this moment here and now, but also in the future for future generations, because that is abundance, that is generosity, that is giving, to not only acquire the knowledge and apply it, but also to share that for the betterment of humanity. And that goes into physical freedom, obviously. Physical freedom, with all the politics and socioeconomic stuff that's happening, but also freedom from just the things that really keep us burdened, whether it's, trying so hard to acquire and attain things in the physical, and, maybe learning how to be a little more detached from that. If your goal is always just to get the bag and chase the bag just so you can get the house and the car and all these materialistic things, what are some other values that you can go searching for, or seeking? What are some of the things that you can seek in the physical realm that will help you to have more fulfillment on multiple levels? And that also goes into relationships, romantic or personal, professional, financial, because Jupiter is also about good luck and fortune. So, when it comes down to finances, what does financial freedom look like for you? And how can you start to work towards that? What knowledge or education do you need to gain so that you can start to apply that? Which is funny because I was literally on my way to North Carolina today listening to a book called Overcoming Under Earning by Barbara Stanny. Anyways, good book though. It's a good book. I like it. I'm on like book number 32 in my Audible. So talk about learning. Me and my Sagittarius moon here. I'm taking in all the knowledge. And so that is for the betterment, not only for myself, but for others, my family, my friends, the next generation, my students, my mentees, all that stuff. It just helps me to be better. So what in your life can you refine? That's that Hermit Virgo energy. He was like, what can you refine so that you can now take clear, direct action in maybe some beginning steps, try something with a sense of, a sense of like optimism and hope and playfulness, fun. So what things bring you pleasure that can, align you with these goals, these dreams that you desire, so that as you make your mark and you shoot for the stars, you actually end up amongst not just the stars, but actualizing your dreams into reality. So that is is there anything else? Okay, I just heard freedom, and just, I don't know, I just saw like fists of different colors and stuff like all around and behind me, and just shouting. I just hear shouting like freedom, freedom. So I think humanity right now is crying out for freedom. And may we receive that this lifetime and that to come. May we receive that and better. So, all right, tuning out.
Bless. Gorgeous. Love it. Thank you guys so much for this Sagittarius Astro Reiki Cosmic Chat and a channeled psychic message. We will be back for the full moon, which is going to be on the 27th in the Gemini full moon. Please, I hope you enjoyed this. If so, subscribe, share it, tell the homies, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next time.